Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Monday evening, November 25, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season. That's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the weather has been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let's just take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather look. And we can see that as of their latest update that just came out at 6:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this just came out more than 30 minutes ago, considering that it's 6:51 p.m. right now. Tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 7 days. But we're still watching the Atlantic over the next 7 days, according to the Supercomputer models, the ECMWF, that's the Euro model, and the GFS, that's the Global Forecast System. That's for the United States. We're going to be focusing our attention. We're still watching the Caribbean in general for all of the moisture. We can see the moisture represented by the greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, as we can see by the key on the right, that represents inches of rainfall. And for reference, we see Jamaica right here. So let us go out in time. Let us see what the latest Euro model is showing that came out this afternoon. As we head into Tuesday, we see that they're still in consensus that there's going to be some amount of rainfall in or around the island of Jamaica for sure. If not overcast skies, similar to what took place today. But we're seeing the moisture. We're still having a lot of moisture as we head into Tuesday. Wednesday, something similar. Thursday, we see something similar as we head into Friday. This is 18th on Friday, which is actually 1 p.m. And we still see a lot of moisture in and around Jamaica at that time. Saturday, we're starting to clear out. We see more whites than anything else. But we're still getting in on some amount of moisture across the Caribbean, including Jamaica. As we head into Sunday, not much change. Lots of moisture across the Caribbean, the southern and southwestern Caribbean right there near Nicaragua, Honduras. And then as we wrap up the 168 hours, we see what both the Euro and we see what the Euro model is showing. Still seeing a lot of moisture stretching all the way from the southern Bahamas all the way into eastern Cuba, Jamaica, section of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, getting in on some of the rainfall as well. But let us match it to what the latest 18-0 run of the GFS is showing. So as we go out in time, we're heading into Tuesday. Look at what Tuesday holds. And remember, we have to take these forecasts with a grain of salt because, as I've been stating, these upper level troughs can definitely be tricky. They show a lot of rainfall and then we're not getting that rainfall at all. Most times the rainfall is out to sea. Most times they're just getting cloud cover more than anything else. Definitely displaced to the west, to the south, to the east of us. But it could definitely bring rainfall. The models are still showing a strong signal for a lot of rainfall. We see the dark greens, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, as represented by the 2 all the way up to the maybe 12 inches of rainfall according to the GFS. Even by 18th on Tuesday, which is actually 1 p.m., we still see a lot of rainfall affecting a portion of northern and eastern Jamaica for sure. It's continuing to go out in time. As we head into Wednesday, not much change. Thursday, we still have a lot of moisture. Not as robust as what the models have been showing for Tuesday though. Friday, we still have a lot of moisture coming into portions of Jamaica as well. And then we see that even as we head into Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday, we still have a lot of moisture to get. And we're going to be stopping it right there. So we see the Euro model is showing 12Z on Monday, December 2. So that's 7 a.m. on Monday, December 2. The GFS right here is showing 18Z on Monday, December 2. That's 1 p.m. on Monday. And we see the consensus that by the end of the next 7 days, there's going to be a lot of rainfall stretching all the way from Jamaica all the way down to the south of us, right there to the north of Colombia, across portions of Costa Rica, Panama, well, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Honduras right there. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with the amount of rainfall that is expected as well. And we know that regardless of development of anything formulating, even although the Hurricane Center hasn't highlighted anything that could develop, there's going to be a lot of rainfall across our part of the world, and we've been seeing the models showing all of that. All of that has to do with the upper level trough, and we see the infrared satellite images. We see a lot of clouds stretching all the way from Haiti and the Dominican Republic all the way to the south of Jamaica, and we see the upper level wind shear definitely pushing all of these high cold cloud tops off towards the north. As a matter of fact, there's definitely been some amount of heavy rainfall that's been lashing portions of Haiti over the past 24 hours, and we can see the deep convection now right there situated just to the south and to the southwest of Jamaica. So who knows, maybe some of that might start lifting up towards the north, towards the island of Jamaica, maybe tonight into tomorrow. Let us see exactly what unfolds as the time goes on. Either way, we see the accumulated precipitation forecast maps. Definitely not much change with what they've been showing. Lots of rainfall stretching all the way from the southern Bahamas, eastern Cuba, down into Jamaica, Honduras, eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, section of western Venezuela, all the way back to the Dominican Republic, as well as back to the Bahamas. And we're talking about the burgundy or the dark red colors into the purples, the pinks, the peach colors that represents anywhere from 2 all the way up to close to 8 inches of rainfall still expected over the next 7 days. So even if we haven't been getting much recently, especially on the south coast, it's definitely gonna be coming. It's coming one of these days. I know that many persons, as a matter of fact, some persons, especially on our Instagram page, have been waiting for the rainfall. Some persons who didn't want to go to work today, definitely upset with how it unfolded, but these things happen. We know these supercomputer model forecasts are not set in stone, so we have to take them with a grain of salt, especially with these troughs that are being sheared in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So we can't just hang our hats on 1 or 2 supercomputer model forecasts all the time. They can definitely be wrong sometimes. This is the latest Euro for the next 7 days, showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until Monday, December 2, 2024. And this is the latest GFS, showing something similar. The very same spots that were highlighted on the Euro model are the very same spots right here that are being highlighted on the GFS accumulated precipitation forecast, all the way up into this peach colors right there. The 6 to 7 to 8 inches of rainfall still expected over the next 7 days for portions of Jamaica. You even see some blues right there across portion of northern Nicaragua, well, northern Honduras right there. And if you remember yesterday, we had a lot of the blues right there to the far south of Jamaica. Now it has shifted a bit. So these models are continuously changing and updating. Either way, we have a surface trough in our area that has the potential to cause a lot of flooding. The forecasts aren't 100% accurate. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure what's going to be happening. We have to take these forecasts with a grain of salt and know that there's something that could definitely cause flood triggering rainfall across portions of Jamaica, stretching all the way from the coast of Costa Rica, stretching all the way into the waters to the south of the Dominican Republic, and it's being sheared right there to the north of us across the Bahamas. We saw what was happening this morning. A lot of the deepest convection across eastern Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, eastern Jamaica. But we more so gotten on the overcast skies. But look at the very latest images now, starting to get a bit concerning, showing the deepest convection to the southwest of us as well as to the south of us. And eventually all of this is looking to possibly lift northward towards us. So we might just get some amount of rainfall tonight. Don't be surprised if it's more in the way of drizzle or dew rainfall. Either way, it is coming our way. Maybe this is how it's going to be starting out to affect us with some amount of isolated flash flooding in some spots. And we see that the close-up accumulated precipitation forecasts are still in consensus with what they've been showing all week, both the Euro and the GFS models. The Euro right here showing the yellows, the oranges, the pinks, the reds, the purples, especially for Eastern Jamaica. That represents anywhere from 30 all the way up to the 150 millimeters of rainfall. The GFS even more robust, showing the pinks, the reds, the purples, stretching all the way from 80 millimeters up to 170, maybe 175 or 200 millimeters of rainfall. We can definitely see the numbers right there for sure. So I hope that persons are taking the necessary precautions so that they're not that drastically affected by what is to come. Moving on, if we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have ridges of high pressure right here situated across the southern United States to the east of Florida, another ridge of high pressure right here to the north of the main development region that we know are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region and through the Caribbean. We still have that frontal system stretching all the way from the northern portion of North Atlantic that has induced that trough, that upper level trough, into portion of the Greater Antilles. We're talking about right there between Cuba, Haiti, and Jamaica, which explains all of the cloud cover, showers and thunderstorms that especially Haiti and Eastern Cuba have been receiving today. Jamaica definitely going to be getting on some of this activity as we progress this week. So just wait, it's definitely coming. And we can definitely see, look at the fast trade winds. That's the ridge of high pressure pushing all of those low level to mid level to upper level thunderstorms from east to west across the Eastern Caribbean to the Central Caribbean, and then hitting like a wall right here. This is a wall of upper level winds. This is the trough that is hitting, and everything is starting to be pushed off towards the northeast. That's the definition of upper level trough in general. Lots of cloud showers and thunderstorms. So an accurate forecast of what's to happen, definitely not really something that's going to be, carried out and actually come to fruition at all. We can see the clouds stretching all the way from the northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down into portions of the Greater Antilles associated with the frontal system attached to that trough that it has induced across the Greater Antilles. And we can see that we have a lot of showers stretching all the way from the Eastern Caribbean into portions of Costa Rica and Nicaragua, sections of Honduras and Belize getting on some of the action as well. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Monday, November 25, 2024. It was stated that parts of eastern Jamaica would have received rainfall last night, spilling into sections of some other parishes as Monday progressed, and we remember exactly what happened. First of all, we know our parishes, northern parishes, southern parishes, western, central, and the eastern parishes. We know eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey, like Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. But what ended up happening? Last night, when the infrared satellite images were posted at around 9:40 p.m., definitely highlighted some clouds. We definitely had some clouds bringing some isolated showers to sections of St. Thomas, maybe spilling into sections of St. Andrew for sure. Sections of Portland definitely got on some of the light rainfall. I remember we got some light rainfall in my parish of St. Thomas last night. We definitely sleep well last night for sure. So that definitely came to fruition last night. But this morning we saw when the infrared satellite images were posted at around 6:50 a.m. By the way, these posts were made not only on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they were also made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we can definitely see the deepest convection associated with the trough that was definitely lashing portions of eastern Cuba, sections of Haiti, definitely gotten on the heavy weather as well. And we saw that most of it was pushing towards the north, all courtesy of the upper level wind shear. So given that the latest infrared has some of the deep convection now to the south and to the southwest of us. We might just start getting in on some of the rainfall as well. Let us reload these images so that we have the very latest infrared satellite images. Alright, so going out in time, let us see what's going to be unfolding. Alright, so here we have the deepest convection. We know the oranges, the dark reds represent the strongest thunderstorms, and we see them off to the south of us. We can definitely make out some of it starting to lift northward into us. As a matter of fact, let's get the latest 5 images, not 50 images. I want to see the latest 5 images. Alright, so here we go. The last 5 images going all the way up to the latest, which is 350 or 2350 UTC. And 2350 UTC represents 6:50 p.m. Jamaica time, so 7:06 p.m. now. So that came out what, 16 minutes ago. We can definitely make out the thunderstorms right here to the south of Jamaica. So I guess this is it. Guess we're gonna be starting to get in on some of the bad weather, if not tonight, into Tuesday for sure. We see what the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are showing. We saw what the GFS and the Euro were showing. So I guess it's going to be coming our way for real at this time. If we take a look back at the visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can definitely make out that we're getting in on some cloud cover, but we're definitely getting on some sunshine as well. We saw some sky for sure today. We saw some sunshine definitely across section of especially southeastern Jamaica. If we take a look at the latest infrared or the infrared satellite images before all was said and done, we can make out some clouds coming in from the southwest. Look at those greens, yellows, oranges, reds off to the west of the island and to the southwest of us. Central eastern parish not getting in on much, just some upper level clouds, nothing significant. And we can definitely confirm what was taking place today on the panoramic city view, looking down on the National Arena, the National Stadium. Definitely see that it was cloudy. This was about 1:40 p.m. from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, and I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, they are on YouTube at See Jamaica 24/7. We have the panoramic city view, we have the halfway tree cam, the crossroads cam, the Kingston Harbor cam, and they are planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe today so that you don't miss out. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this map does paint quite the picture. Look at what the models were predicting and look what exactly took place according to this map. Clearly, most of this rainfall that we see across eastern Jamaica was experienced sometime last night into early this morning. Then throughout the day, we saw that it was a mostly fair day, mostly cloudy in general. Then we had the sun peeking out in some spots. And we definitely have some comments here coming in from some of our followers. One here on our Instagram page, The Weekend Living, stating, bro, Monday is undefeated. Just to highlight how Monday is always winning regarding rainfall and sunshine, making it easy for us to get to work. We also have a Realm_JA stating Jamaica is lucky again. Well, it's too soon to talk, sir, because boy, we saw the deep convection to the south of us. It might just be on its way. Panton Giovanni stating Spanish Town cloudy. We have Kerry, Fraser, no rain in Kingston. And if we take a look at the very latest still image now, let's see what's happening across Jamaica. The latest still image is as of 23:55 UTC. So this just came out at 6:55 p.m. considering that it's 7:09 p.m. right now. We can see the deep convection to the southwest of us. All of this right here definitely representing some amount of rainfall to the southwest of us. There's some clouds across western Jamaica. We're talking about Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James. and we see it not that robust across section of central and eastern Jamaica at this time. And if we actually match it to the latest Cuban Doppler radar images, let us see what's happening right now. There we go. So the latest Cuban Doppler radar image just came out at 7 p.m. So we can see it right there. The time is now 7:10 p.m. So this just came out 10 minutes ago. And we can actually make out some of that rainfall to the southwest of us. We see the greens, we see the yellow. That represents some light to moderate to some slightly heavy rainfall to the southwest of us. Definitely matching up with what we just saw on the latest still infrared satellite images. The colors that represents the high cold cloud tops, the cumulonimbus clouds, right there up to our southwest. So some of this rainfall, who knows, maybe could spill and push northward. We actually can see them moving. Look at the pink line and look at the way in which the rainfall is definitely pushing closer towards the northeast or towards the pink line. Definitely could be on its way to portion of Jamaica later on tonight. And remember, there's a lot more deep convection to the far south of us. So this all could make it northward into portion of Jamaica as the night progresses. But don't hang your hat on it. It could be another case where all of it misses and pushes towards Haiti. Boy, they can't catch a break over that country. Either way, be on your P's and Q's just in case. You have a lot of deep convection right here to the south and to the southwest of us. So we might just start getting in on our fair share of the bad weather very soon. I know it sounds like a broken record because, boy, the weather has been tricking us. We've been seeing the rainfall and flooding, but more so across northern Jamaica, not so much southern Jamaica. I know some persons are actually want the rainfall to come to cool down the temperatures, but I want it for the fact that we need to have water in our pipes, and it's only a matter of time before the National Water Commission tells us in February or March that, with that we only have 70%, 60, 50% in the dam or the reservoir, and we're crying for water all the live long day. So rainfall is always a good thing as long as it's not too much all at once. Alright, so let us see, where were we? Alright, so we're going to be looking at, alright, so we just looked at the latest Doppler radar images showing some of the rainfall right there to the southwest of us. Let us take a look at the latest Guantanamo Bay Cuban naval radar imagery. We can see the blues, the greens. They represent some light to moderate rainfall associated with the upper level troughs clouds stretching all the way into eastern Cuba, the southern Bahamas, the western peninsula of Haiti. If we take a look at the Cayman radar, we can make out some of this rainfall right here to the south of the Cayman Islands, to the east, to the west up there as well. Rainfall definitely surrounding those islands. And if we take a look at the very latest live camera from See Jamaica's YouTube channel showing Barbican, we can see that as of 1913, that's 7:13 p.m. if you know your 24-hour time. Not much happening in terms of the weather. Definitely a fair evening right now. People walking about, going about their business, people in their vehicles going about their business. Definitely a fair evening, but who knows, maybe that could change later on tonight into early tomorrow morning. If you take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Tuesday, temperature should have down to about 24 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. If we take a look at this map showing the temperature forecast from the GFS for 18Z on Tuesday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Tuesday, we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some grays and some slight blue colors that represents average to slightly below average temperatures. And we know the average temperatures for the month of November across Jamaica are around 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And when 88 degrees Fahrenheit is converted to degrees Celsius, we're talking about 31.1 degrees Celsius. So it should be anywhere from 30 to 31 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Tuesday. Could definitely be lower than that, especially in areas that are experiencing showers and thunderstorms. And if it's going to be a bit too hot for you tomorrow, we need to know where the power outages might be. We're going to be looking at my GPS online to find out if your area might be getting in on a power outage for sure, because boy, we know that without the fan or the AC to cool us down, it can definitely feel hotter than normal. So they've stated that for Tuesday, November 26, 2024, from 8:15 a.m. to 8 p.m., there is going to be a maintenance outage for Osborne, Victoria Town Tollgate, Ramesbury, if I'm not butchering that place's name, Clarendon Park, in Trelawney. We also have maintenance outages from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. for Bellevue Walkers Wood in St. Anne. Another maintenance outage advisory for Bellevue Walkers Wood, Hindstown, Scotts Hall to Gibbs Hill Road, St. Mary as well. We also have maintenance outages 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for Garden Close, Cherry Garden in St. Andrew, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. for Rochester Avenue, Maryvale Avenue, Lounsborough Avenue in St. Andrew as well. And finally, we have maintenance outages for Wharf Road to Logwood from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Hanover 2. So, if you have plans for tomorrow and you live in those areas, just know that there is a power outage possibly coming your way within those time frames. If you have friends or relatives who live in those areas, let them know what is to come. And if it's going to be a bit too hot for you tomorrow, you know the drill. Try to beat the heat with these tips. Dress down, wear lightweight clothing, and use sunscreen. Check on others, including children, elderly people with medical conditions, and pets. Be cool, stay indoors, and make use of fans and air conditioners. Avoid alcohol and caffeine as they can make dehydration worse. Limit non-essential strenuous activity during the hottest parts of the day. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to always keep hydrated. Put away the sugary drinks, drink water instead. Alright, so let us take a look at the dry air map. We know the dry air is represented by what we see on the key on the bottom. The yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. And we still have a lot of dry air, stretching all the way from the eastern Caribbean into the main development region. And a lot of dry air off the east coast of the United States, as well as across the Gulf of Mexico and into the northwestern Caribbean. But we see more blues and whites than anything else across the central Caribbean, including Jamaica right here. Definitely getting a lot of moist air, which explains all of the clouds, and especially the showers and the thunderstorms to the south of us that could be making their way towards us tonight into tomorrow. Regarding the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Tuesday, we can definitely make out Jamaica right here in the clear, North America, the Bahamas, the Caribbean, South America right there, the northern portion of South America into Central America, definitely in the clear, as all the browns represent the Saharan dust. Should be across the main development region as well as Africa. And we're indeed glad that we're not seeing that vigorous plume that we know is represented by the darker shades of browns that we know can cause the very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses, asthma, sinusitis in some persons. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we're starting to get in on some of these slight purples. We see it more so on the Euro though than on the GFS. GFS a bit more reserved, showing the lighter shades to darker shades of blues, anywhere from 0.5 all the way up to maybe close to 2 meter wave heights, especially according to the Euro. And that's because the winds are going to be averaging anywhere from, let's say, 10 maybe up to 20 knots, maybe even gusting to 15 knots in some spots. And we see the winds definitely coming in from the east for the most part, stretching all the way from the eastern Caribbean to the central Caribbean, curving southward near South America right there, around some kind of broad area of spin right there to the north of Panama and Colombia. But regarding the close-up of Jamaica and these winds, we're still seeing more of an easterly flow across the island for sure. You can definitely see the winds pushing more so across the island from the east, definitely averaging anywhere from 10 to 20 knots at most, as we can see by the key on the bottom right. And we still have the upper level winds for tomorrow coming in more so from the south, maybe southwest across the island, which would definitely cause some of these clouds, these cumulonimbus clouds that we see to the south of Jamaica right now. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised If as soon as the video is uploaded, maybe an hour after, some of these clouds to the south of us push northward, bring us some light, maybe to moderate rainfall, maybe some heavy rainfall, who knows. Let us see what happened later on tonight. But we can definitely see the upper level wind blowing the high cold cloud tops off towards the north for sure. Alright, let us take these rainfall forecast maps with a grain of salt. Let me advise you first, don't believe anything that you see here. It's possible, and it's also probably not going to be happening at the same time. We saw the forecast for yesterday. Let's see what the forecast for tonight into tomorrow holds. So according to this map, which is showing the Euro, at around 11 p.m. we see some rainfall, especially across the waters to the west of us. We see the dark blues, we see the greens, the yellows, we see some blues on land. Who knows, maybe that's more so in lieu of cloud cover, maybe that's more so in lieu of light rainfall. But look at what the GFS is showing for the same time period. We're seeing some greens, yellows, oranges, pinks, reds, especially to the southwest of us. That could definitely be what we're already seeing on the Cuban Doppler radar images. We see the rainfall, the moderate rainfall represented by the greens and the yellows within all of that. So this could already be unfolding as we speak. Skipping ahead now to about 4 a.m. the Euro model has a lot of rainfall to the north of us, to the south of us, across eastern Jamaica. But look at what the GFS is showing for 4 a.m. on Tuesday. We see dark blues, we see greens, we see yellows, oranges, pinks, and reds to the north of us, to the south of us. Lots of rainfall. I wouldn't be surprised if we wake up tomorrow to a lot of rainfall. Wouldn't be surprised if we wake up tomorrow to sunshine. Take these forecasts with a grain of salt. These troughs, especially these upper level troughs, can definitely be tricky. Displacing the rainfall could be a case where all of the rainfalls to the south of us, to the east of us, to the west of us, to the north of us. Or it could be a case where we wake up at 1 p.m. and it's raining heavily, flooding out the place. Maybe tomorrow morning it's raining so much that we can't go to school or work. We have to take these forecasts with these troughs with a grain of salt. As of right now, this is the forecast for 4 a.m. on Tuesday. Lots of rainfall, especially right there to the south of us. Skipping ahead now to about 8 a.m. Not seeing much on the Euro model. We're seeing more whites than anything else, with more of the rainfall dancing to the northwest and south and east of us. But look at what the GFS is showing for 8 a.m. This is ridiculous if it actually unfolds. We're seeing the greens, we're seeing the yellows, we're seeing the oranges, the pinks. That's a lot of rainfall stretching all the way from the east to the western end of the island. And we have to take these forecasts with a grain of salt. We've been seeing forecasts like this since Saturday, for Sunday, on Sunday, for Monday. So take these forecasts with a grain of salt. It might not happen, but it could happen at the same time. Not 100% sure what's going to be happening. And the lack of consensus, especially on the Euro and the GFS, definitely, does something to the certainty. Not really certain that it could unfold. Seeing more whites that represents clear skies at 8 on the Euro, while a lot of colors represent a lot of rainfall on the GFS. Boy, at this point, I don't know what to believe. Let us see what unfolds. For 12 p.m, the Euro has rainfall across Westmoreland, sections of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, St. Andrews, St. Thomas. The GFS still has a lot of colors that represent heavy rainfall across sections of St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrews, St. Thomas right there. Skipping ahead now to about 4 p.m, we see the blues, we see the greens that represent some amount of rainfall from western Jamaica, southern and eastern Jamaica. The GFS showing something similar to the southern and eastern Jamaica thing. Then we're going to be stopping right here at 9 p.m. We see rainfall across western and northwestern parishes, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland, and eastern parishes, Portland, St. Mary, Portland, St. Thomas, and the GFS showing more of the rainfall across northern Jamaica, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, St. Thomas right there. I'm not sure exactly what's going to be happening. We usually look to these models for certainty. We've seen what's been happening regarding what took place and what's being predicted. As I've stated before, these troughs can definitely be very tricky, and accurate forecasts aren't their strong suit at all when it comes to the models. So let us take these forecasts with a grain of salt and act like it's going to be raining a lot. According to the accumulated precipitation forecast from the Euro, showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Wednesday, we see the reds, we see the burgundies, we see the purples. That represents the 1 inch of rainfall. We see the 2 inches of rainfall across Kingston. We see the 2.36 across sections of Hanover. We see some blues into the purples. That's a lot of rainfall if it actually verifies. That's a concern for some isolated flash flooding. The GFS clearly more robust. We see what it's been forecasting for tonight into tomorrow. A lot of rainfall if it actually verifies. We see the purples, we see the pinks, we see the peach colors. That represents all the way up to what, 4.59 inches of rainfall in Sri Lanka. 5.75, or is that 6 across section of St. Anne, 3.88 St. Anne, 3.89 St. Mary, 4.15 Portland, 5.18 Kingston and St. Andrew, 4.32 St. Thomas, 2.84 St. Elizabeth. Let us see exactly what unfolds as of right now. These rainfall total forecast maps definitely showing a lot of rainfall. Let us actually see it if it actually verifies on Tuesday, but don't be surprised if it doesn't. Don't be surprised if we wake up to sunshine. Don't be surprised if most of the heaviest rainfall is to the south, to the east, to the north, or to the west of us. I cannot stress that enough. Either way, whatever happens, we've clearly been exceeding the amount of rainfall that we usually get across Jamaica for the month of November. In Kingston, we usually receive up to 50 millimeters of rainfall. That's 2 inches of rainfall. In Montego Bay for November, we usually receive close to 5 inches of rainfall. That's almost 125 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific parish receives for the month of November, or for any one of these months from January to December, you can visit weatherandclimate.com, and you can use this nice little graphic right here that converts the rainfall that we receive on the rain gauge from inches to millimeters. We know that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall, so you can do the calculations yourself. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have a lot of clouds associated with this upper level trough. Lots of showers and thunderstorms. That's definitely the dominant picture across the entire Atlantic. Definitely the heaviest thunderstorms right here to the south of Jamaica as we speak. A lot of these clouds shearing off towards the northeast into portion of Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, getting on some of the bad weather. And we can definitely see that flow from east to west associated with the high pressure ridge, sending all of that moisture from the main development region into portion of the eastern Caribbean, pushing into the central Caribbean and hitting that wall that is the surface trough. All of that rainfall accumulating right here for sure. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let us see what has been unfolding near Puerto Rico today. Alright, so as of right now, not much happening across Puerto Rico, but we can definitely make out some greens and some yellows that represent some moderate to some slightly heavy rainfall across Guadeloupe, sections of northeastern Dominican Republic. Let us see what the images looked like earlier today. Alright, so as of 1:40, not much was taking place at all across these islands. But if you take a look at the Barbados radar, we can definitely make out some rainfall, some isolated showers at that, coming in from the east into portions of Barbados, sections of St. Lucia getting in some of the rainfall, so to Martinique, Dominica as well. Scrolling down, some rainfall across sections of northern Trinidad, not much affecting Tobago right now, just some isolated hit or miss showers. And if we take a look at the weather wave Doppler radar images, we can make out the rainfall that we already saw across section of the Cayman Islands or the waters around those islands. Section of western Cuba getting in some of the rainfall. The waters to the north of the ABC Islands getting in some of the action. And so too the waters to the east of Nicaragua. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Tuesday. And we can definitely make out the rainfall for sections of southern Bahamas into the Turks and Caicos, section of Cuba, especially eastern Cuba, section of the Cayman Islands, section of coastal areas of Belize, Guatemala, section of coastal areas of northern Honduras, eastern Nicaragua, section of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, coastal areas of Venezuela, the ABC Islands might get on some isolated shores. So too, sections of Guyana, Suriname and French Guiana with some isolated shores, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada getting on some of the rainfall too. Section of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, maybe some isolated shores for sections of Barbados, but nothing too significant. And we can definitely see the rainfall in for section of St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe as well. And some of this rainfall spilling into portion of Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. And we know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.